our own land. Until you left me standing here without you. We on a merry-go-round. It's about to go down, baby. You know how it goes when it goes around. It comes around. I'm spinning merry-go-round. Can't stop me when love goes around. It comes around. Here we go, man. Still spinning around. Just tell me will you stay around. Just say here we go. I'm spinning merry-go-round. Can't stop me when love goes around. It comes around. Here we go again, man. Still spinning around. Just tell me will you stay around. Just wait. Here we go. I'm spinning merry-go-round. Can't stop me when love goes around. It comes around. Here we go again, man. Still spinning around. Just tell me will you stay around. Just stay, 'cause I'm in love.
When are you going to grow up and stop asking your mom to come down and cry and do this for you? Your
Not the mom. Not the mom.
mom should be enjoying the best days of her life, not dealing with someone who's 25 years old. You're a grown
Court is
man
calling
and you're behaving
2023
like a child.
CR 5280, State of Texas versus Kevin Alfred James Jones. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Lindsay Shaw for Mr. Jones.
And are you Mr. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Off the record for a moment. Probation, this is an application. We're back on the record. Did you understand in count 2, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4,200 grams? Oh, off the record for a moment. So that you understand that the state is not waiving the enhancement paragraph. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
In defense, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So what's being waived is count 1 only, correct?
That is correct. Your Honor.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Any objection to the waiver of count 1?
No objection.
All right. So what you're charged with in count 2 is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment for a second-degree felony is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If the state is able to prove the enhancement paragraph allegation, then your range of punishment will be anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
Damn, she's good. She is good, y'all. Here we go.
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. You'd agree that you've been previously convicted of 1 or more felonies. Punishment is to be assessed at 9 years in the prison. There's a $2,500 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. The state recommends community supervision. They're taking in consideration 2023 CR 4278, and there's to be restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 220 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense as charged in count 2, how do you plea? Guilty, not.
What do you think he's going to plead, everybody? Make a guess right now. You can put it in the comments or you can put it in the chat. Here we go.
Guilty or no contest? And to the enhancement paragraph, how do you plead? True or not true? State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Did exhibit number 1 false attachments.
No objection.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement paragraph true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments.
Thank
Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Are you employed?
Actually,
That's either yes or no.
No.
All right. How long have you been unemployed?
actual 9 to 5. I'm not even sure. I do
Dang.
side jobs, moving company.
All right. If you are on probation in this court, I require a job, and I require a job where someone gives you a W-2. You understand?
Well, I'll have to own it soon. I moving company.
I mean, this man is a grown man in his 20s, and he's never worked a real job, just been a hustler.
You need to provide proof of that. Do you have any children?
Yes.
How many? What are their ages?
4 and 1 on the way.
Who do you live with?
I don't want my
If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be for everything? And that includes marijuana, alcohol, all of that.
might be a little dirty.
Why Seeking Knowledge is in the house. Yep, Judge Boyd, she's breaking it down right now. She's breaking it down. Unfortunately, the too many brothers have to end up in a situation like this. But it ain't her fault. She's doing what she needs to do. Here we go.
Have you ever used anything other than marijuana? That's either yes or no. We're not doing notes. We're not doing all of this. And I don't understand. I'm getting some attitude from you, and I don't understand that.
You know, that's the weird thing is I've found that there's a certain segment of men who have a problem just simply answering a question, yes or no. I can understand you may want to either retort or explain, but you start off with the answer. In the house as well, Phoenix Soul, Quita Ward, Why Seeking Knowledge. Good seeing everybody. Here we go.
If you want to wear a Michael Jordan jersey, Michael Jordan could afford to have attitude because he was exhibiting greatness. You are not. So there's to be no attitude towards me in this court. Do you understand? And you will get a job. Do you understand? Am I speaking a foreign language to you?
You see how the dudes, even in court, these dudes be defiant. And then you wonder why some men get longer sentences and shit. It's amazing to me. Here we go.
All right, then you need to answer my question. Do you understand that you will get a job?
Sure, I will get a job.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to step back. You'll wait. I'll take up sentencing later. And counsel, if you want to speak to your client about
Yes,
his
ma'am.
attitude.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yep. Why Seeking Knowledge, flashbacks from him hating his mom, telling him what to do. Exactly. 10 minutes later. Let's see.
All right,
how
we're
he
back on
acts.
the record in 2023 CR 5280, State of Texas versus Kevin Jones. Defense.
All right. Oh, Kevin's back on. He's back on the mic, y'all. Let's see if he acts right this time.
Charles Bach.
And state.
Jason Garrett.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 9 years in prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs, and he needs to be tested for levels. There's a $2,500 fine. That'll be probated. What are the court costs in this case, please?
You know, what I was thinking about, he probably would have hit or cussed out a woman right there. So he glitched. At least he glitched. You know why it's seeking knowledge? At least he just glitched. He didn't jump over some, he didn't do a, jump over like a linebacker at the judge or nothing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I believe it's clear that he's one of those dudes that just don't respect women at all. At all. And of course, he's a lowlife. So here we go.
Take in consideration 2023 CR 4278. There's to be restitution to SAPD for drug testing. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. 220 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to ask for parenting classes. Once he completes that, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
Queen Award, you nailed it. She says he has zaddy, so he should be fine now. And that's the funny thing, is that these, black men, and a friend of mine brought this up. He said, she says, it's crazy how these black men are out here, kneeling to other races of men, but have the nerve to disrespect, black women. And it's so true. Even though black women have been in their corner all the time, they still disrespect black women. Like this dude here. I'm telling you, he just cost himself probably about a good 5 years probably from acting out. And the judge has the right to do that. The reason the judge has the right to do that is like, well, if this is his behavior now, why should I put him back out on the street any sooner? Let me, she made it, we don't know if she made adjustments or not, but any judge would have.
What's the cost? All right, the court costs in this case are $325. Will you be able to pay that in installments?
Yes.
Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. You said 9 years probated for 8?
Yes. All right. If he completes everything successfully, then he can always come back.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Thank you.
That's how it's done. That's how it's done, y'all. You want to play games? And then they wonder, and see, why I wanted to play this to let you know how it goes down. How it goes down in court. How all that whatever you're doing, whatever Diddy mode you are in, hits you back. Quit a war, exactly. And all that contempt. She's not, what's she supposed to do? Let's play some more. Here we go.
You may be excused.
Yes.
You think we're done. We're done, but this is 7 months later. Let's check it out. We're almost done though with this.
Counsel, did you have a chance to speak with probation?
I did.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 5280, State of Texas versus Kevon Alfred James Jones. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Casey Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense.
David A. Garcia, attorney for Kevin Jones.
And are you Mr. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled
Oh, Quita, that's not a 23, that's a 2003.
motion to revoke community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Kevin Alfred James Jones who was placed on community supervision in 2023, CR 5280, for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on January 22nd, 2024, for a term of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes,
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violated condition number 1, on or about the 22nd day, May 2024, in Bear County, Texas, defendant Kevin Alfred James Jones committed the offense of evading arrest or detention, violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
No
Any-
objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition?
Phoenix, Phoenix, Quita, she asked if he needed anything else from the court to be successful. I said Ozempic.
Number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 9 years in the prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There's Your Honor,
Yes.
and it's a deny the motion to revoke, continue in Willis probation. The state is taking into consideration clause number 766366, and also to have the individual attend state.
Let me break something down real quick. If he acted right, he might not have what he's doing, be in the situation he's in right now, but he just can't manage it. So maybe, prison, he doesn't have a job. So prison might be the best place for him. He gets 3 squares a day. He gets structure, that's for sure, and a place to sleep. What more can you ask for?
Yes, that.
That is the agreement, Your Honor.
All right. So why is he continuing to violate? Why is he violating probation?
Well, Judge, if you look at the 3 conditions, 2 of which have now been waived. The evading, I conferred with the state. It was something I've actually filed a motion for continuance, because when you look at the police report, it was an execution of a search warrant at a location not my client's. And he was outside of the house. When the police arrived, everyone ran. My client states that he heard bangs. He was fearing for his life. So he ran and hid, and they found him hiding behind a shed in the area. The report from the probation department shows he's been clean. So that was a stupid mistake, Judge. The state and I looked at it. The motion was to get the video, but we worked out this deal. He's been sitting in jail for 2 months. His mother's present, who supports him and loves him. Other than that, the other violation was something about proof of change of address. And I think when he was arrested, he gave his father's address or something, which is different. And then I think the last one was not completing community service or something like that.
Basically, he lied, but for some reason, everybody lies and tries to get away with it. But Phoenix Soul says he looks like his grandma raised him too, talking about take care of my baby. She out here like Florida Evans. Nah, exactly. Then Quita says, Judge changed her hair. He changed shirts. No. He walked in here last time, in plain clothes, and now he's in that prison orange. That's not cool.
So he's
That's not good, but hey, he put himself there.
been working on doing well. We're hoping that the three months in ISF will make sure that he understands he cannot afford any mistakes. And we're hoping that you grant him this opportunity to prove himself and keep him on probation.
All right. And state with regards to this evading, I haven't seen the police report.
Would you like the police? Pretty much the rendition is that it was a drug house that he was standing outside of and with another gentleman. When the officers arrived, DPS, they did run off and did not stop when asked to stop. He has to be evaded.
Oh, that's it. I mean, he deals drugs. He was in court for dealing drugs. The last place that you would think if you wanted to still be, not in jail is a way you run. If you see a D house, right? And you're not supposed to be in front of a D house, that's for drugs, folks. You'd run the other way. No, he was standing in front of it. So let's see what else.
All right, thank you. You may continue to confer.
Thank you.
Why is it takes people to get arrested to decide they're going to change their life and they want to do things differently? He should not have even been outside a known drug house.
Right.
And I don't want to hear, I didn't know it was a known drug house, because if you live in a neighborhood, no matter where you stay, you know what house is the house that you shouldn't be at.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think the gentleman he was speaking to was his uncle.
It
Which
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If your uncle is in front of a drug house, you just don't talk to your uncle that day. I mean, or you call him up on a cell phone and say, "Hey, I can't be in that area."
an excuse where he was judged, but that's the situation we have.
And doesn't excuse giving fake addresses, doesn't excuse any
Yeah,
of
fake addresses. The courts cannot stand fake addresses. Now, a lot of times they'll let it slide, but they do. That looks very, very unreputable when somebody does that, and he did that.
this. How old are you?
25.
You want to raise your right hand for me? You solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Keegan Jones.
Do you know what your
You notice his voice is louder now? Do you notice his voice is louder now? You know, before you could barely hear him. Now he's speaking out because he knows he don't want to be in jail for 8 years, or prison, I should say.
conditions of probation are?
Yes, sir.
Do you know part of your conditions of probation, you can't hang around people who've been in prison, who are out of prison, who are on probation? Do you realize that?
Yes, sir.
So is your uncle out of prison, been on probation, any of those things?
10 years ago. Yes, ma'am.
You can't hang around him.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't hang around any family member who's been in and out, well, who's been to prison, out of prison, on probation. It's not allowed while you're on probation. Do you want to go to prison? Then why are you behaving like you want to go to prison?
Phoenix, so he don't have the right bra size for running. Oh, man.
Why? Why? You're 25. When are you going to grow up? And stop asking your mom to come down and cry and do this for you. Your mom should be enjoying the best days of her life, not dealing with someone who's 25 years old. You're a grown man and you're behaving like a child. When's the last time you had employment?
Before this happened,
Doing what?
working at a moving company.
And how far did you go in school?
I graduated.
And what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life, other than hanging out with people you shouldn't be hanging around?
Good question, Jizzy B. Where is his dad?
Need to stay out of trouble.
Well, everybody, I'm staying out of trouble. Are you staying out of trouble?
I try, Judge. I don't.
Everybody's staying out of trouble, unless it's good trouble.
Yes,
You're
sir.
staying in bad trouble.
Oh,
And then you
man.
come to the court and you want to beg me to give you another chance. And you bring your mom down here when she has to pay for parking. I don't know
Oh,
if she
no, not the mom. He brought down moms, too.
drove or she took the bus, but she could have been doing something else with her day.
Yes, sir.
Instead, she's dealing with a grown man who don't want to behave well. Probation,
Mars in the house.
is this what you all are asking for?
Yes.
All right, I'll deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions. 2 and
Phoenix Soul, she's giving him incentive to shift his paradigm, and he's too scared to dip out.
include the MRT, ISF, And upon release, I want him on GPS. And it's going to be partial and it's for employment only. So what that means is
Damn.
you're going to be on GPS. The only thing you're allowed to do on GPS is go to work and go back home. Who are you going to be living with?
Mom.
Mother,
Does your mom want you living with her?
yes.
You know what's funny to me? Cynthia G and Princella both said these men disrespect Black women, but who do they always go home to? Their mom. Every time. You can, debate on whether you like Cynthia G or Princella, but being right is being right. They always go down. You're gonna see this pattern. You're gonna see this pattern. Just when I keep going in this live stream, you'll see what will happen. Just be.
Did you ask her? That's either yes or no.
Yes.
If I call her up here, is she gonna say you asked her, can I live with you?
Yes.
All right, so I see you looking up to see. Is he allowed to stay with you?
Yes. But he's gonna abide by what I say.
All right, if you can come forward, please. Move over there.
Oh no, not mom.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Anya Bledsoe?
All right. Is this your son?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, he's saying that he has your permission to live at your home. Is he allowed to live at your home?
Yes, he is.
All right. So he's going to be on GPS. He will only be allowed to go to work, then he has to come home.
Yes, ma'am.
If he violates those conditions, a motion to revoke is going to be filed.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you think your son needs to be successful?
If I tell you,
No, tell me.
you need to listen.
Okay.
I say, your people are the wrong. Your choices of the people are the wrong thing in your mind. You can't get over. He was raised the correct way. So what he has done it doesn't make any sense. Following somebody is no good. Be a leader.
Mhm.
That's what I try to teach him. He's a good kid. He really and truly is. It's just like
No,
I
I'm
said.
sorry. No. Notice how his mom said he's a good kid. I mean, yeah, he doesn't say he's grown up to be a good man. She said he is a good kid.
Say following the wrong, even family. Because I have to cut mine out too.
Mhm.
So he will.
She thinks so. Bless her heart. She can't be trusted to tell him anything. She ain't got no bra either.
He helps me out with everything.
I think his chest is bigger than hers.
He's a good kid, very mannerable and everything. And not to bring up when he was with you first time.
Did I say y'all ain't right?
Like I told him, you went up there and you let that lady tell you when you shouldn't have even acted like she wasn't talking to you. And I told him, you are to apologize to her. That's the proper thing. That is the proper thing because he wasn't raised like that. I love him to death, but I will. And he has left home before. I told him, you think you're going to run around here and do what you want to do, get your things and go. I'm not going to deal with that.
Okay.
So, I spoke with him this time. Yes, he did. My mama do the right thing. Okay, because I will call the police. I will turn him in. I don't have a problem with that because I don't need the headache.
All right, so let me just tell you, I'm gonna
Mom,
make sure you give your address to probation, because when he's released from custody, that's where he's going to be staying. And she will give you the phone number of who his probation officer is going to be.
Yes, ma'am. And I do.
Why is he acknowledged says, is she slurring too? Old school missionary board member.
Believe as far as that address thing on his ID is 522.
Oh, no. Here's the thing. We're going to go. I'm going to continue him. We're starting from ground zero right now. So he's going to know where he needs to stay. And that's where we'll be. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And Judge, regarding the GPS, can
All
we
right.
waive the fees?
Oh, just 1 second. Come back up, Mr. Jones. All right. Oh, don't be bowing your head like you have some kind of shame. Your mother is saving your life. You understand?
Yes.
All right. The court is going to deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include MRT, ISF upon release, and he's to remain in custody until transferred to ISF cognitive. There's going to be GPS partial for employment only, waive GPS fees, and it's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. And you are to reside with your mother until further notice.
That's state ISF.
I hope mom's gonna be safe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You may think you're an adult, but guess what? You're going to be living in your mom's home. So if she has her rules, if she wants the television off at 10, television goes off at 10. If you want to make your own rules, you need to get your own place. And I'm telling you right now, you are not allowed to leave your mother's house or go live somewhere else without the court's permission. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is there anything you do not understand?
No.
Anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, thank you.
Didn't Kevin Samuels say that men are logical and women are emotional? But when you ask yourself, think about it. Who's wearing the orange? Who's wearing the orange? Is that a logical color? No, not at all. Let's go to Diddy.
Which was for a
Wait. We bring it back. Bring it right to here. I'm not going to play this whole video. Well, let me play the beginning.
Sandy, after spending the night in a Brooklyn jail described by some as hell on earth, Sean Combs' lawyers tried once again to post bail. Appearing before a different judge today, the hip-hop legend and his legal team offered a $50 million.
Remember, he said hip-hop legend. So remember, this is where we get into the underbelly of hip-hop. A hip-hop legend is one of the most notorious criminals in the United States now.
$1 million bond, weekly drug tests, a GPS monitor, no contact with witnesses, and no female visitors except family, hoping to secure his freedom.
I wouldn't even put him around family, quite honestly.
Forcing sexual contact, oral sex, and sexual intercourse on the plaintiff, end quote. In addition, the complaint alleges in the second cause of action that defendant Combs and another defendant committed a violation of New York civil rights law, quote, section 52-B, end quote.
Okay,
Diddy isn't going down without a fight, literally. After the shocking news broke that the hip-hop mogul could be facing years of life in prison over his involvement in a sprawling trafficking case, insiders are speculating that Diddy reportedly lashed out at the judge in court.
Did you just see? Remember, that's why I played the first judge, right? These fools be going to court, acting belligerent before they even get the case heard. What do you expect's going to happen?
Speculation is swirling that he made some fiery remarks under his breath as the gavel came down on the potential life sentence, hinting at an open threat.
There's really no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking.
Jizzy breaks it down perfectly. Jizzy says this: I know Puffy Been to his studio a few times. Always seems cool. Yeah, did he rub your booty, Jizzy? he does that from time to time. Hopefully you weren't, in that situation. But yeah, Jizzy, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, there's a long list of people who didn't find him that cool, including other artists. But I mean, I'm glad he was respectful to you.
So we know that Diddy has fought charges before. There were state charges, there were gun related, the nightclub shooting with J-Lo, but he's going to dig in his heels, and this case is going to trial. So if you're prosecutors, you really want to make sure that your evidence is bulletproof before you go down that route.
Sean Combs was recently arrested in Manhattan after being indicted on several serious charges to participating in intimate activities under threats and manipulation.
And this is what happens when a psychopath gets this much power. Even those words coercion and enticement.
I told you he was a psychopath.
To engage in prostitution. It wasn't enough for him to get consenting, prostitutes who do this by trade. What a trade. Do you know what I mean? I don't remember that in my apprenticeship. But, people who do this for a living anyway. It was fun for him to take people who would never ordinarily have been a prostitute into that so that they could become his toys. And by the sounds of it, P. Diddy and his employees would do whatever it took to get women into his inner circle to participate in whatever fucked up shit he was into. He would use threats. He would use intimidation. He would even use the offer of a romantic relationship, that lover boy method. That
exactly. And there's a lot of men who do that, so watch out for it, ladies.
Andrew Tate made famous.
The indictment also includes accusations of physical misconduct dating back years, with claims from multiple victims.
To get them to participate in whatever he wanted. He would then get these women to engage in sex acts with male prostitutes that he'd also hired for his entertainment. He would basically sit back and direct it and have a wank at the same time while the whole thing was being recorded. This is absolutely mental. He's got
this is what happens when a psychopath is able to run free reign over other people.
Brain of like a 14-year-old psychopath. Like, it's not enough for him to just get a woman who loves him and have sex with her. And even then, there would have been people who are willing to consent into some of this fucked up shit. And maybe some of the people involved were consenting. But the point is that just was never enough for him, clearly. It's the power of getting people to do what they ordinarily would never have done. That's part of the thing that fucking gets it off.
Now, I'm putting this gentleman on here for a good reason. Number one, you see that, he's a Caucasian guy. And not only that, he sounds like he might be from Australia or at least another country. So he really there's no gender war with him. It's not a woman up here explaining, but he's telling you what he observed. So that should be enough proof to tell you that Diddy's fucked up.
Combs is now facing the harsh reality of potentially spending decades in prison, weighing the...
I'm going to pause out and go to the next one. Here we go.
When Diddy was arrested, bags of pink powder were allegedly found in his hotel room. I'm Dr. Frida, and here are 5 things to know about pink cocaine. 1.
Let me pause it right there. Now, this is how stupid this guy is. He knows he's being watched. I know people probably tipped him off or something. And he is still such a drug addict. He still had that stuff around.
And it is a powdered mixture of drugs, and it usually does not even contain cocaine. 2, pink cocaine typically contains 2CB, which is a psychedelic drug that was originally used to treat sexual dysfunction, MDMA, ketamine, and caffeine. 3, other substances that have been found in some pink cocaine concoctions include LSD, cocaine, bath salts, methamphetamines, and fentanyl. 4, dangerous effects may include hallucinations, increased blood pressure, increased heart rate, abnormal heart rhythms, seizures, coma, and even death. 5, pink cocaine has been associated with cases of physical assaults, motor vehicle accidents, and sexual assaults.
I've heard, in fact, Sean Combs is...
That's something. That is something. That good doctor broke it down perfectly. Here we go. Now, we're breaking into the hip hop part of this thing where we're getting into Trey Songz. Let's see what's now. If you've noticed, if you remember, Trey Songz has not been a very nice person to women either. So, or anybody else for that matter. Let's find out why. Here we go.
I've heard, in fact, Sean Combs is bisexual. I've heard that from people who work for Bad Boy, who have now departed. Gays who were in Bad Boy, whoever in fact told that he likes women, so he would have in fact have to be bisexual. I've heard Sean Combs is in fact bisexual from people who used to work in his company. So I'm assuming I'm not had sex with Sean Combs. I've not spoken to Sean Combs. But based on those sources, I've heard he's in fact bisexual. This is Tony Newman, and you're watching That's Hot. In my book, The Memoir I Rise, published in April 2011, I mentioned rapper, actors, producers, and some of those that I have spoken.
So, you know, what's funny to me is this. As misogynistic and homophobic the hip hop industry is, it has the most DL men ever. And I dare anyone to argue that. It has the most DL, down low, men ever. Let me repeat that one more time and then I'll play the clip. Hip hop has the most DL men ever. Ever. It draws DL men, men that are confused about their sexuality. That is what we are getting into, this underbelly of hip hop. Here we go.
Publicly owned is LL Cool J. I met as a street prostitute 15, 16 years ago.
Baby girl was draped in Chanel.
The encounter with LL Cool J was a one-time encounter.
Damn, not LL, not LL.
I serviced LL Cool J. I knew it was LL Cool J, and he knew, in fact, I was transgender. It was like any other encounter I had. I got paid. I performed the service. Thank you. Never spoke again. We didn't text, email, call. We didn't exchange any numbers or contact information. I never saw him again. I saw Eddie Murphy 15, 16 years ago pick up friends of
Not Eddie Murphy. Oh, he's killing me.
On that street block in New York City.
Hey boy, you look mighty cute in them jeans.
Miss RV, we are breaking down the underbelly of hip hop. We are starting out with the down lows. The down lows.
Eddie Murphy was on the strip during that time, come out a lot. And he not only recruited, but paid very well. Several transgender friends of mine who I saw get in his car, and I also saw them get out his car with several $100s. So I know for a fact Eddie Murphy, ever since 96, has been utilizing transgender prostitutes.
Did he ever tell him to keep it quiet, or did he ever tell him?
I don't know if since I didn't have a one-on-one encounter with him, I don't know the verbiage that he used. I'm assuming since we were street prostitutes, I guess he never thought we'd tell anybody anyway. Most people out there during that time, we were street prostitutes, working the block late at night in the meat packaging district in the village.
Meat packaging district. The meat packaging district. Metal Heart in the house. Metal Heart, it's good to see you. Here we go.
You know, it was spoken that you wouldn't tell anybody, but I don't think they really thought who would listen anyway during that time. So when they were out there recruiting, we were basically prostitutes of no societal value. So I don't really think anybody at that time was listening to what we would have said or done during that time. As far as media coming out and asking who are your clients, nobody cared except the police, who came up quite a bit.
And just for people who might not be familiar with New York, or might not be familiar with the area of what you're referring to, can you explain what the meat packing district is?
We used to call it 14th Street. 14 between 7th, 8th, and 9th Avenue. You would see 50 to 100 on the block, street spread across of African American, Latino, and Asian, and other minority transgenders out working the streets, trying to make a hustle.
The meat packing district. Oh man, down low.
That is how we made our money to get our silicone, implants, hormones, injections. When we could go to the doctor, that's how we paid for it. That's how we paid for food. That's how we paid for rent as street prostitutes. So we
So, yep, 24 hours a day meat packing.
were never seen in the day, but then it came nighttime, and we came out from about 10 p.m. until 6 in the morning.
I'm going to pause it right there. I think we got the idea. I mean, let's get into the mix here. Right. Let's skip Boosie for now. Oh, no, here we go.
That's your man. You know, I get the news and get it to you as soon as I get it.
Fast forward. Oh, is this dude again? Okay.
That's your man. You know, I get the news and get it to you soon.
I can't use that because there's no, he doesn't have anything to reference with. So I'm going to move forward. Let's go to Young Dolph real quick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So it's almost over, and I'm sure you all are happy. My name is Iris Williams. I'm one of the prosecutors on this case. And earlier this week, you heard opening statements. You heard opening statements from prosecution and from the defense attorney. And you were told all the things that you could expect this week. And one of those—
This is Young Dolph. As you know, we are digging down deep into the underbelly of hip hop. As you saw, I think I put enough evidence put forth to know that, number one, as misogynistic and as homophobic hip hop men portray themselves to be, they find themselves going to the meat packing districts. I'm trying not to laugh. The meat packing districts. Okay? So there's nothing, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Welcome, Morgan. It's good seeing you, Morgan. But these men are hiding it. It's funny because these men are turning around and disrespecting women and homophobic men and, you know, men that have gotten work done on them. Yet these men are the first men that line up for all those alternatives. Don't you guys find that weird? After cussing them out on rap records and cussing them out and in front of other people, they getting that baby oil. Yep, they getting that baby oil. Equita is right. Baby oil time. It's baby oil time. Morgan says, rip Young Dolph, CEO, TZ, and Big Jook. And that's another sad part of hip hop, Morgan, is these guys are out there like just going at it. I mean, every hour a brother is putting another brother down. I don't mean I mean with some lead poisoning. And I hope soon that will change.
Important things that you could expect was that it is not 1981 anymore, and that things have changed. But what does that mean? It means that it's hard to keep a secret. It's hard to hide who you're talking to. It's harder to hide your actions. And it's even harder to hide who you know. But ladies and gentlemen, despite all of those things that have changed, one thing has not changed, and that is the state's burden. The state's burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. So what does that mean? Where are we? So the defendant, Justin Johnson, is charged with 3 counts: conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and convicted felon in possession of a firearm. So I know that you've already gone through a little bit of this law during voir dire, and especially through the jury instructions. But a brief overview of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder is that
And Miss RV has a very good point. Please do hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button.
1, this defendant entered into an agreement with one or more people to commit first-degree murder. 2, each of the parties to the conspiracy had the intent to commit the first-degree murder. 3, each party acted for the purpose of promoting or facilitating the first-degree murder. And 4, one or more of the parties committed an overt act to help the crime happen. So what did we hear this week? This week we heard testimony from co-defendant Cornelius Smith. He testified for us and he told us that he met Justin Johnson through Hernandez Govan, and that he knew Justin was a rapper, and he was also known by the name of Straight Drop. So Smith had known the defendant for a couple of.
And let me pause it right here. This is the weird thing. So really, hip hop is probably, it can have some lovely music, as we all know. It can have some of the most energizing music, positive music, Black consciousness music you can ever think. And unfortunately, it seems that all it's representing now is an update on murking. That's sad. I mean, that's sad. It's very sad.
Actually, a couple of months, and they hung out a couple of times before the murder. He was able to identify defendant in open court. And
rappers murking rappers. That's crazy.
During his testimony, Smith told us that on November 17th, 2021, he and the defendant knew that Big Jook had a $100,000 hit on Dog's head. Cornelius said that he and Justin agreed to kill Dog together, and both of them receiving $40,000 apiece. Not only did he tell us that, he told us that this plan had been in process for weeks, and that Justin knew about it. And there were conversations previously or prior to this murder, and Justin Johnson was an active participant in those agreements. So there we have it, a conspiracy to commit first-degree murder.
We have a verdict to the members of the public. If you don't think you're going to be able to not show any emotion during the reading of this verdict, I ask you to remove yourself now. There won't be, the court won't tolerate any outbursts of any sort from anyone.
If you don't know who Young Dolph is, I believe he was a drill rapper. I'm not exactly sure. I guess that's the modified version of a 90s gangster rapper. I guess, same equipment, guns and music studio. Here we go. Now, my question is this: what does he really expect the result to be?
Ready, Your Honor?
Yes.
Jury is now entering to the courtroom.
Metalheart, you nailed it. The fact that they thought they were going to get away with it is the oldest okie doke you can fall for. Bars.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
You have your own.
Jizzy B says this: no fathers, you're headed to jail. Guess what, though? There is a star football player, actually several, believe it or not, that played the quarterback position for the NFL. One plays for the Texans. His father was in prison for the majority of this young man's life. Not only is he good at it, he is an amazing football player and an amazing role model at the moment anyway. Here we go.
One person, if you would stand and read your verdict, please.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
I'm gonna pause it for 1 second because I want to read Morgan's question first. Morgan says, "Have you guys seen the new lawsuit that was presented by the Carter girls with super graphic detail?" Not yet, not yet. But you know something, Morgan, we're gonna look into it. My producers are already they're in the mix, they're in the clouds. We'll definitely go into it because we want to find out anything that we can do to find a way of helping young ladies avoid these situations. Let's put it this way. Here we go.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in count 2 of the indictment. And we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of convicted felon in possession of a firearm as charged in count 3 of the indictment.
Thank you. Juror number 1, is that your verdict? Juror number 34, is that your
toast? He's toast. His life is over for if somebody said, would you want to take a chance on ending your life either alive or not, what would you do? And he was dumb and chose, I'll take my chances. Wasika Knowledge says, probably been getting all those slaps on the wrist until now. Bars. Had to prove he was a man at all cost, I guess. Bars. Keep Debo's happy so you can keep keep those teeth.
verdict? Yes. Juror number 35, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 11, is that your verdict? Yes. Juror number 14, is that your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, they're just going through the juries and everybody's saying that, yes, guilty, guilty, guilty. Jizzy brings up a good point. Usually, if you're good in sports, the coach can save them save them. Male guidance, other than that, it's a wrap. Actually, that's a damn good point, Jizzy. Damn good point. Yep, Miss RV, to Morgan's point. Yeah, her assault was terrible at Morgan. Okay. Here we go. We are going deep into the hip hop. Okay. Here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm here with a quick video on Diddy. Karrine Steffans, who wrote the book Superhead, which
Okay, Corrine Steffens, who wrote the book Superhead. I'm going to give her a little bit more volume though. Give me 1 second. Here we go.
when that book came out, everybody and anyone who was out in the streets looking to purchase, grab, and read the book. I personally never read it, but I heard it told a lot of stories in there, and a lot of them was salacious. But now she is coming out and letting us know at some point in her career, she was gifted by other executives to Diddy. So this was back in 2001.
Gifted to Diddy. Gifted. Not like she's property.
So see, people want to act like now that they had no clue what Diddy was doing, but they had a clue because his behavior has been going on for decades. Now, she doesn't consider herself a victim, but unfortunately, she says it was what it was, and it happened. So
this is from Chronicles of a Gray-Haired Diva. Here we go.
Go ahead and share screen and get right into this story. I was gifted to Diddy. What I saw still haunts me. Elizabeth Overseen, she has since changed her name, became part of the indicted rapper's world where nearly anything goes when he said, send her over to my house.
By the way, she had a boyfriend at the time.
The author of Confessions of a Video Vixen, which was first exposed the bad behavior of numerous hip-hop stars when it was published nearly 2 decades ago, says that she was gifted to Diddy in February 2001, fresh off his split with Jennifer Lopez after a day of popping pills and drinking with music execs around Los Angeles in a limousine. In retrospect, I realized I was given to him as a gift by another executive, says Elizabeth Overseen. 46, in an interview with the Daily Mail, Diddy car pulled up as they were leaving a club around 3 a.m. She remembered. He asked who I was, and the men spoke for me. Those men,
I want to say she was gifted by L.A. Reid, but let's keep going. Here we go.
Elizabeth alleged in her 2005 Vixen memoir were Murder Inc. record boss Irv Gotti and flagship artist John Rule. It was the height of hip hop when music video budgets ballooned, and they had that creative level, amateur creative level direction, and appearing in such productions could make someone a star. A 21-year-old Elizabeth, then known as Karrine Steffans, had appeared in Jay-Z music video for his
Correct. It was Irv Gotti that gifted her
2000 hit song, Hey Poppy, which reportedly cost $1 million to make. Diddy, known as Puff
in the house,
Daddy, was at the forefront of the $1 million look. Elizabeth.
Let me pause that because I want to go to. I want us to hear her speak. Here we go.
You know, there's a whole thing. So I call him, I also.
Back.
Laura Styles, we have Rosenberg, and I want y'all to give a round of applause.
Okay, this is from Hot 97. They're a pretty big company. I'm gonna take my chance.
Never started that joke because you know how like jokes run. You have a running
I thought
joke?
you was cool with this.
No, let me rule back. That's important.
Corrine Steffans, aka Superhead, is here on the program.
Wait a minute. Can I not get the AKA? It's too early. No, can we just-
that doesn't apply no more.
It's never applied to me.
I mean, the funny thing is she does not look like a video vixen that would be called Super H. Let's keep it going. Here we go.
I've never used that.
Never.
I've never, ever in my life used that. That was such a bad joke. I wish we never started that joke because you know how like jokes run? You have a running joke?
I thought you was cool with this.
No, I've never introduced myself. I've never been cool
You
with
just
that.
pre-interviewed with her for 5 minutes, establishing everything you could and couldn't do.
Talked about my mom.
Yeah.
Like,
And Superhead. No.
I'm leaving. This is both. I'm out of here.
This is going to be very interesting, everybody, because you're going to hear some stuff. You're going to hear some things that literally blow all the stereotypes from the red pill out of the water. Watch this.
That happened the last time.
Your guess was that at this point in her life,
I'm 36 years old.
she was fond of the name Superhead.
Yeah.
Is that what you thought?
I assumed that she used it as just to own her past.
Like it's on my business card? Like
No. It was just
in the middle.
It was the brand. Do you know what I mean?
That's
what
not
moved
my
these
brand.
books.
No, it's not.
Corrine Steffans is the brand.
Thank you. The white boy knows.
So damn.
Well, I gotta be white boy though.
I
See,
mean-
it's diminutive. She doesn't realize that. It's a negative.
So you don't feel that your past and the name has helped you create this brand?
No. Not at all. That would have killed it before I created it. Because that's not hot. That's it's easy for people to negate that because it's so derogatory.
But people negate you.
You don't know who this is. This is Corrine Steffans. She looks much different than I would have thought. She looks, just kind of innocent
because of your past.
No, they don't. You think I'm around here being negated?
On
You think
blogs.
I'm on book number 7? Who reads blogs? I was on Oprah.
So
I
you-
was in Newsweek. I
so-
was on Bill O'Reilly.
Right, but
Who
that
was
was-
reading blogs.
Dang.
But that was because of your past with
No, it wasn't. It wasn't because of what you just said, though. It's because I have a story to tell. So I have a compelling story. Everyone has a compelling story. 1 second ago was the past. Everybody has that. 5 minutes ago was the past. We were here 5 minutes ago. But my story is way deeper than that. It's always been deeper than that. So
No, it is.
Oprah,
I mean-
when Oprah called me to be on her show, it wasn't because, hey, it wasn't about that. So to me, it depends on where your brain is. When you read Confessions, whatever you take from it says more about you than it does about me.
I never read it. I just heard people talk about it.
See?
Exactly.
And look at you. And that's what you get for not having
And
the
she's very well versed.
information.
most people-
You son of a bitch.
Most people have never read, most people who have the deepest opinions have never read that book. So they don't know what happened.
Wait, you said 7 books? I thought this was your 3rd book.
This is 7.
Wow, 7.
Yeah.
See, respect that woman. 7 books.
That's a fucking
You
writer.
know how hard it is to put out books.
I'm on 7.
It is.
Takes forever.
Not for me. I write books in like 30 days.
Really?
The
Dang, she writes books in 30 days. That's pretty intelligent, if you ask me.
editing takes longer.
Wow. So you turn it in, and then they got to do the bouncing.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
bounce
blah,
around
blah,
for
blah,
months
blah,
and
blah.
months and months. Yeah, and then the legal stuff comes in. So it's like 3-4 different editors, and then legal stuff, and then we have to do typeset and then cover and all that. That takes the longest time. I usually finish my first draft in about 30 days.
You dedicate this book to people who've battled domestic violence.
Yes.
I'm just reading it. What is Vindicated about?
So I wanted to focus mostly on my first marriage, because
Marriage. You can talk about her all you want. She's been married. Let's keep it going.
it was a turning point for me and it was back in like 2007 when I got into this relationship, and we got married, I think, in 2008. And
Do we know the person?
Yes, he's not named in the book, but you know who he is.
We're not saying names.
Well, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not, but it's
Don't worry.
obvious. You
Run your Googles.
Run
Run
your
your
Googles.
I got it, guys. No problem.
Run your Googles.
Because this book is centered.
Let me run my Googles real quick. Let me see who she was married to. Right there. Darius McCrary. What did he do? Wait, no, that's her. Is that her son? No, yeah. Yeah, that's her. That was her husband. From 2009. No, that's her second. I'm sorry, I blew it right there. I wasn't supposed to show you, tell you that part, but we'll go back. Here we go.
Just on that, the legal advisor said that it was best that I don't mention. Because it's not like confessions where we're kind of bouncing around from thing to thing to thing, because it's solely focused on one thing. You want to be really careful about the legalities of that. So even though it's very obvious who that person is, I wanted to change the name.
So y'all, after all those men talked her down, not only did she get married once, and I kind of blew it. I didn't want to bring it out right now. She got married more than once. I'm not going to say how many total, but that was husband number 2 you saw, Darius McCrary. And he looked like he didn't look broke. Here we go.
And also, I wanted to give that person a chance to, if that person gets upset, I needed that person to be able to admit that this sounded a lot like him. I've had several husbands, so if this...
How many times you been married?
She's had several husbands. And if you remember in the red pill, welcome Rich. If you remember in the red pill, they always say, well, if you do this and do that, you can't get married. 3 high-value men married her. Let me keep going.
3.
Are you planning on getting married again?
Yeah, I will continue to get married as long as I need to.
Until she
What do you
finds the
mean?
right husband.
Yeah,
What do
because
you mean need? You said need,
well,
not
see,
want.
what happens is that I do believe in marriage.
That's
I believe
right.
in having. I'm a monogamous. I might be a serial monogamous. But what happens is that after my first marriage, I developed a 1 flag rule.
What's that mean?
Okay, so what I realized in my first marriage and other relationships.
Listen, Law, she's breaking it down.
Is that I would see red flags and I would ignore them. And then that would go on for years and years and years. And one red flag turns into 5,000 red flags. And then you're in deep trouble. You're 6 years in, you've wasted all this time. So when I see my first red flag, I just leave, no matter what the circumstances. And that red flag has to be serious. But I see things in people, a lot of insecurities, or when someone says something mean or looks at me a certain way, because I've been involved in violent relationships. When I see something that's even reminiscent of that, I
remember when we saw that situation with Halle Bailey and Diddy G, I guess he is, where and that blew up the wrong way. That's one example. Another example is Kiki and her dude. Those young ladies, unfortunately, did not see the signs.
Leave instantly. So that's what happened in my second marriage, and the one after that. When I see Like, you know, people will say things like I was in a relationship once and he came into my house and he said, why do you have all your book covers on your wall? Take that down. My first husband did the same thing too, had me take down all my book covers. You know,
But you were proud of him, though.
right. Like, you know how artists have their plaques on their
Of course.
walls and whatever? I do it with my book covers and they're blown up and that's my achievement.
Oh, so they was trying to diminish your achievements
Right.
for their own
As soon as I
benefit.
hear that, I'm like, you're done. I don't want to talk about it. You don't have to explain. Listen, great meeting you, great marrying you. Thank you, but I'm done.
How does it take
Meeting
that
to
long, though?
marry.
There's another part we need to talk about how you get that far, that you don't figure out that they're a douchebag until...
Because people put on their best face until they get to a place where they feel like they're in. And then when they feel like they're in, then the real person, women do it all the time.
But you should let that, in my opinion, this is, you know, teach his own, but in my opinion, let that in happen a couple years before you get married.
When I married my first husband, I'd known him for 8 years.
What about the second one?
5 weeks. Okay,
Well,
but that
it
was
is,
that,
you
was for
Ding,
papers.
ding.
That was
A
for
month
papers.
and a
That was for
half.
papers. That was for
Papers,
papers.
what do you mean?
Okay, but
Okay, and husband number
He
three.
wasn't a citizen.
Oh,
Husband
you
number
helped
three?
him.
I helped him. It was an arrangement, but
Fair
still the
And you
part,
should- I
part
don't
of the
know if-
arrangement was
I don't know
well,
if-
he never got his papers
Okay,
because
so
he
you're clean.
he
You're
did,
clean.
he did
You're
the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
He gave me a look one day, and it was a bad look.
So you never all went all the way there.
Right, exactly.
It's funny.
He gave me the look.
So if you go to her Wikipedia page, the only relationships it lists for you is your 2009 marriage to Darius McCrary.
That was 2000. I think I was 8. I think we divorced in 09.
It says, well, Wikipedia is often wrong. It says 2011. That's Eddie Winslow from Family Matters.
Oh.
It also lists, of course, Cool G Rap, which we all know, dating Bill Maher and dating Bobby Brown. You have really run the gamut of random motherfuckers.
Nah, it's not completely. I mean, Bill Maher's random.
I
Bobby
saw a video.
Brown is
Bill's
like,
not random. Bob is
More
more
random
random than
than Bill?
Bill. Bill
explain that.
Yeah, Bill Maher he's been on TV all the time. Dang. I mean, what random? You know, that's the thing though. When you're in the people always feel like the only big deal is hip hop or, you know, R&B. Not really even R&B. They just think hip hop's the biggest thing. Bill Maher probably has more and made more money than the majority of the rappers. Hot ones, by the way. You know, rappers that have made a lot of hits. He has more money than them, but of course, because these guys don't get out of their what would I call it? Their range or whatever you want to call it, they wouldn't know.
The only thing not random is their name.
Bill Maher was a talk show host.
Names are just random dude names. But I did a Bob, I did a Bill.
Why you say Bill's not? And
Bill's not more. I date Bill's more my type. So I date more people like Bill than I do like any. Like
and you're not
Bob
saying
or
white. You're
whatever.
more saying a mindset.
Cerebral. Yeah, cerebral. White too. Like I usually date white guys.
Interesting.
I remember videos
So
of
I guess listen. Keep
Bobby
going.
Brown passed out on her couch. She like taking a
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That came out. James Harden just got caught up like that today.
Really?
Yeah, the basketball. But he fell asleep next to some thought, and she took a photo, threw it on the ground.
Oh,
Dang, man. You know, the funny thing is that these men, they make rules for women, but for this young lady who's been through so much, and they would call her a 304, she's found no problem finding suitors. That just basically blows away whatever theory these men come up with. She has been put into situations that basically nobody would want their wife to be in, but she still finds suitors. Now, I'm not sure what's going on with her now, but this was 9 years back. She at 36, she had no problems. And she looks very good for 36.
Oh, that's what's up. That's not what happened at my house.
You know, at 46, but
So it was a different kind of story, and it wasn't like that. And this was before. Remember, like when Confessions came out in 2005, there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, like we didn't have any of that. So my book was, it was very shocking because no one had heard these things before in this particular demographic. So it was like social media, like the first kind of
It got it going.
Yeah,
it got it
exactly.
going.
And then so Twitter got new like in 2006 in beta. By 2007, we were all kind of on it and things started spreading. But with that particular situation, you know, I had known Bob for years. He's known my family, my cousins. Him and G knew each other. Like, he had done something so disrespectful to me right before that it was just my way of disrespecting
Retaliation.
back.
It was
Absolutely.
retaliation.
Because I think this is what I feel about people in general, is that people always think it's funny when they disrespect you, and you should just like let it roll off. But then when you disrespect them, everybody stops laughing. And I remember one time Bow Wow told me that like my disrespect is like real, like it's out of control. He's like, yo, but you go too far. I'm like, well, what's too far?
Yeah, too far for you.
Yeah,
but
for
you already violated
right,
me.
you violated me. But then when I violate you, then you're like, oh my God, stop violating me. Like, that's not fair. So, you know, my brand of disrespect is very disrespectful.
But before we start this conversation, Karrine Steffans is here. She does not like the name Super.
Very good point. Very good point, Metal Heart. Once men learn about a woman's dark past, they usually always turn into monsters. They are seldomly nice to women like her. Bars.
Head, so we don't do that.
I'm glad we got that out the way nice and early.
Very early.
Yeah, I didn't
know all
realize.
this time you were thinking I was passing that out, like on my.
I just thought that was a part of the moniker. Like I thought it was just like
I liked you as the line she just ran right through. Do you hear the T-shirt line she just dropped?
Yeah.
My brand of disrespect is very disrespectful. Think about that. All right, move on.
Okay. But I guess your story, for those that may not know, I mean, you have been before being in videos, right? And before the first book, right? You had a relationship with Kool G Rap, and I think you talked about it in the book where it was very much I don't know if you weren't were you an escort, or were you, what was the early relationship?
I was a stripper.
You were a stripper.
I was a teenager. I was under 18. I was like 16, 17 when we
16, 17. 16. These men are ridiculous. They want babies. If it was legal to date a 10-year-old, they probably would.
met. He's 10 years older than me.
And what was your relationship?
And if you notice, it's not like it was somebody around her age, 10 years older.
I've interviewed your mom. I've interviewed you.
That's so
It's so crazy because in 2005, Miss Jones, we were doing a show. You were up here. We were talking through the book. The book was a big deal.
Yeah.
You had come up. We talked all that. And we had got into some areas in the interview, and you left the interview.
Yeah, I like to walk out of interviews.
I like to walk out of interviews is a major statement. I like this.
You know, this is radio.
Like when you get uncomfortable, you're like, I'm done. That's it.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm done.
I'm a shutdown artist. So
explain to me the relationship with your mother, because you mentioned her being on tour, but what was she promoting?
Yo, all I know is that I wasn't talking to her at the time. I was on my book tour for my product, and then I kept hearing my mother was on her own tour.
It was it was Superhead's mom was coming up. I remember the book. It was like Superhead's mom's coming by. I was like, word? I want to see what this is. I remember we played 50 Cent in the room, and she was turning up. She was like,
My mother was turning?
Yeah.
Yo, my mom's is weird.
Are you not close with her?
Do you not talk to her?
I don't talk to her.
Wow, at all?
At all. Like, I don't talk to bad people. You know, like regardless of whether you're, to me, I don't care who's
Dang, that's a trip. That must have been a rough household.
You are. Like, if you're not a good person, I don't talk to you. And like my other sister doesn't talk to her. Like the grand.
Yeah, by the way, let me make that clear. Morgan is correct. This is a 10-year-old interview. So I'm not sure exactly how she looks now, but she was very articulate back there then, that's for sure.
Kids don't talk to her because there's something. I come from a long line of crazy people. And
yeah, Miss RV says she had been abused since she was a little girl. That's probably one of the reasons why she's not cool with her mom, because her mom probably let it happen.
Like certifiable. I know that my aunt had mental issues. I know my uncle had mental issues. He escaped from a mental institution. My aunt ended up dead in the water somewhere in St. Thomas. I know that I have we have like emotional issues in our family, which I discovered later as I got older.
So she's from St. Thomas. Okay, got it. Okay, so she's not American. Metal's Heart says, why do American children have to work before the age of 18? And they don't have to work, but unfortunately, if you're in the plight of a situation, they're either forced to work or they're forced into a situation like she was, Miss Steffans, which is to do things that, aren't cool.
And I really, not to be funny, but I really kind of think my mom may have a slight issue My mother speaks in different accents when she gets around different people. So like when I took her to Beverly Hills, she started speaking like in a British accent, but it was a weird one.
So
it's like she switches. It's weird. It's just really weird.
So through your books,
Yeah.
7 now. This one's out, Vindicated. Didn't expect this interview to be this interesting, which appreciate you. I do want to talk though about mental health, right?
Yes.
And I do want to talk about therapy, because have these books for you been your
Catharsis.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, first I
And
had-
and is that
She used a big old word, catharsis. Damn, she's smart as fuck. Man, she's very intelligent.
And going into it, did you know that's what you were doing?
Well, I've been writing books since I was 5. So my first book I wrote, I was 5. It was about kindergarten. So
It's a good topic matter for a 5-year-old. I mean, I'll be honest, one of the main subjects you know about.
it was about kindergarten my whole year, and this the whole thing. So I also come from a long line of writers. So my grandfather, my great grandfather, like they owned a newspaper, they were photographers. So it's part of my heritage. It's what I've always grew up doing. And so for me, people keep diaries and things, and I always did that, and they just turned into these little books. Confessions was, pieces of my diary that that I have been writing over the years. All my writing serves as catharsis for me. It's how I let things go and give it back to the universe. Like, I'm done with this, and I write it down. And once I finish writing it, I literally no longer own it. I'm not holding it.
Yeah, because you said you even have selective memory. Is that a part of it? Like when you came in, you didn't remember that you had been here in 2005. You don't remember
I've
me.
never met you. I thought.
You know what? You want to know something? It just hit me. As much as she, her notorious reputation, do you know, when you think about it, that she has less bodies than most of the men in the community? You would think by her stories that she would have a lot, but when you remember now, she's been married 3 times already, right? That took up a lot of time. I have been to chat rooms where men were bragging about having 500 to 1,000 bodies. So it might, when you think about it like that, it really makes you wonder. It's like, wow, these guys are out here putting up 300, 400, 500,000 bodies, and then turning around and calling women 304s. And it almost blows your mind. It almost blows your mind. And really right now, it's almost kind of like with what they say about Brittany Renner, is like, oh, she did this and oh, she did that. But if you were to flip it on her on men, and if you've heard the stories I've heard from men about their stories, I mean, it's like these men have 2, 3, 4 times the bodies. So it just shows you how things work in the United States. Let's put it that way. Okay, she gave head. Who hasn't? How many dudes have, gone down on women all the time? They probably have more. They've done it probably more. But we're not turning around calling them super tongue and shit, right? So it kind of it blows you away when you think about it just kind of objectively. Here we go.
Thought I'd never met you. I don't hold on to things. I don't hold on to grudges. I don't hold on to pain. I don't hold on to grief. I don't hold on to things. I let things go. My grandmother said something to me when the first book came out. She says, I'm so proud of you. She said, because now, you never have to lie about who you are. And most people will never know how that feels. And she said, now you don't have to walk around all that stuff in your guts. Like you're lighter now.
Let me pause that. Let me drop the link. Damn, what am I doing? I forgot to do that. Let me drop this link. Just in case somebody wants to pop up for a minute, feel free to do so. Yeah, they're not calling them. They're not calling niggas, super tongue and shit. So you think about it. I mean, I've had men brag to me about saying they'd literally done the whole city, and this was a big city. So it's weird that the patriarchy, as Phoenix Soul put it, and the misogyny. It's amazing how it really erases a lot of ills that people do.
My grandmother, who's 84, that's the first thing she said to me about confessions. And that's a big deal for me. Just, I don't walk around heavy, So when I die, I die light. And that's important for me, to not carry around pain and past hurts. And I let my mother, I will let you go. I will let you go before I hold on to
And that's
something.
to save yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Preservation, self-preservation is key. So I do have selective memory. I just don't hold on to things.
I'm being, to be totally honest though, I still think you seem sort of sad.
No, I'm actually super happy. Right now, my energy is low because I was out last night at the power party and that was super dope. And we didn't really sleep. I don't even know this guy right here. I just picked him up.
Just came along the way. Well, it was a good night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Morgan Baker says, but she's also in porn movies. Yeah, well, anybody who's been at Diddy's house has probably been in a porn movie, whether they know it or not, whether they wanted to or not.
Yeah, there's this dude walked in the room. I thought he was security. He was like, "Nah, I'm just some dude.
I'm just some dude.
She's pretty. She's got a big ass. She was fun, and we in here. We in here."
He's cute. He came to I had an event last night. He came and then we all went out. It's like a hangover part.
Yo, you a groupie for Corrine?
No. He was
He's Superhead to former Superhead.
Really?
Yo.
He's the head of Superhead.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yo. Never mind. We'll talk about that later.
just had an
I just
idea.
had a flashback. We're good.
Selective memories, flashbacks. There's
Selective
always
memory.
something. I know it's a lot.
Last night was a movie. Go ahead.
So if it's 7 books in, so
Yes.
obviously these things are selling. It's not a game.
No, it's not. That's my career. This is what I do.
Yeah, this is what you do.
This is what I do.
Vindicated.
Yeah.
She is a book writer now. So, yeah, I mean, basically, talk about making a comeback, from going through so much through, your life to a book writer, and it appears she's doing pretty good. Nobody's reading my books. Well, I don't have any books, but still. Quita says this, is it that they boosted Superhead to project, make her seem orish, but it's them who's the HOR. Yep. WHORE. Yep. Yeah. Basically, I know that it's hard to fathom it because it's like the way that things are genderized in America, but men are very much more the 304. I mean, these men respect Austin Holloman to the utmost, but he's got at least 200 bodies on him already, and he's only 23. Here we go. Oh, with Mr. Marcus. No, hers was released with Mr. Marcus, and she performed for the camera. It was consensual. Oh, yeah, I understand that. Yeah. I was making a joke, Morgan, about Diddy's room. But she probably made an extra one there and didn't know it. But yeah, Ms. RV says, yeah, she was kept drugged and pimped out. A lot of PORN stars are trafficked. We don't know how many of them are doing that willingly. That good point.
Karrine Steffans, and this book is about one specific period and person, and it's no names, but it's not fiction.
It's not fiction.
This is not fiction.
No, I don't write fiction. I have a hard time with fiction because fiction to me, when I can't even read fiction because I just see lies. I have a hard time with that. A lot of my readers want me to write fiction, and I understand why. But I just see lies. I just see made up stuff. Even in the book, when I had to change certain things for legal reasons, it was very hard for me. It's hard for me because I like to just tell the truth.
Do you leave some names the same?
Some names, public names, they don't have the same privacy laws for public
And she
people.
knows all the loopholes now. She's a professional.
So if you say right here,
public names.
Says I called Wayne. You're talking
Right,
about Wayne?
Wayne's a public person, so we don't have to worry about that.
What's your relationship
Right, gotta give it to her. She's the comeback queen.
with Wayne?
Currently, we're good. Like, that's my friend. I consider him a friend for life. Love him always.
Friends with benefits or just friends?
No, I haven't hit that since after him and Christina did that really
I've missed
good.
something.
Like, that's my friend, for legal reasons. It was very
It's
hard
hard.
for me. It's hard for me because
Wow.
I like to just tell the truth.
Do you
period.
leave some names the same?
Some names, public names, they don't have the same privacy laws for
And
public
she
people.
knows all the loopholes now. She's a professional.
So if you say right here, it says I called Wayne. You're talking
Right,
about Wayne?
Wayne's a public person, so we don't have to worry about that.
What's your relationship with Wayne?
Currently, we're good. Like, that's my friend. I consider him a friend for life. Love him always.
Friends with benefits or just friends?
No, I haven't hit
I
that
think she's
since.
talking about Lil Wayne. She just said they just call him Wayne, but I believe it's Lil Wayne.
after him and Christina did that that really horrible they had that sort of fire thing that was so bad, and I think he felt kind of low after that. So like I kind of you know, but it
Is
was
that shade? Are you being shady?
No shade, no.
No.
Y'all saw
But-
that. I wasn't just me.
No, that was you.
No.
Yeah, no, that was you. No shade.
Y'all
no.
saw it. Y'all saw it. Let's not act like you didn't see the performance. Rolling Stones.
Yeah, but I didn't
horrible,
know.
like-
But wait. You're saying that you have.
Baker breaks it down. She says both genders need to be held accountable, especially all this OnlyFans nonsense going on nowadays.
I haven't hit that since that.
It was like 2 days after that.
No, but my point is
But before that, we weren't like I might have been with him in that way once in like a year and change. Like we don't.
So are you saying that song turned you off to him? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think this is what I think, and this is me being super honest. I think that as an artist, as someone who has to create something out of nothing, it's important that we pair ourselves with the right people. When I was with Wayne, I wrote my best stuff. You know, I felt like when he was with me, he wrote his best stuff. When he was trying to figure out his new style, that singing thing that he started doing, he was with me on the bus singing into a remote control. Like, how does this sound? When he was starting to learn to play guitar, he was with me. I feel like certain
Yeah, but hold
people-
on. Did you stick around when that actually happened? Because if so, we might have to change this conversation.
Yeah,
Because if you were on the bus when he wrote Prom Queen, someone needs to escort her out of the building.
Oh,
that album, the rock album.
No, I wasn't on the bus then.
Okay.
Very well said, Miss RV. Some people will never let you forget your past.
And by the way, I love Wayne, but we know that album was not his generally what people see as his highest moment.
Okay.
This is what I feel. I feel
Carter
like
4? Is that 4? Yeah.
as a creative person, I think it's important to surround yourself with people who inspire you. I think that when we surround ourselves with like bums or like losers or like has-beens or people who just aren't hot, then our art becomes not hot.
That's
So-
the people that are around Diddy.
So not that performance turned me off from him. It just kind of solidified for me that I don't want to be I don't want you to be hanging out with not hot people and then hanging out with me too. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Oh, so the shade was for Miss Millie.
no, it's for anybody who's not hot. I just feel like I just want everyone around me to pop. And I just felt like the formula got mixed up somewhere. You know what I mean? Things have changed a lot. I mean, all of our lives have changed. So even in my life, I had to get rid of people who just weren't creatively popping for me.
It was Rebirth, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. I hear that. We're going to go. That's part one. We're going to have a part two of this, by the way. A part two will be done. But we're going to break into something else here. Hold on. Get this.
So it looks like the feds were not kidding when they announced that they were going to be going after
if you have
Diddy from
any-
every angle because they have moved.
Let me pause. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Any comments in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That was a segment on the underbelly of hip hop part one. There is going to be a part two because I don't want to just play the whole thing in one go. And I'm going to have I'm going to find out what I'm going to do also is find out what she's doing now, like in the last couple of years, and find out what she's doing now. But right now we're going to dip into a little bit of more of some Diddy to keep everybody up to it. Here we go.
On from his freak offs, and they're now exposing him for allegedly taking out his ops. The streets have been saying for a long time that Diddy allegedly unlives his ops, and it seems like we finally have some proof. Cassie said it in her lawsuit, Little Rod said it in his, and now the feds are claiming that Diddy allegedly tried to take out Cat Williams after Cat exposed him earlier this year on Club Shake.
Dang, so Cat Williams, here we go, folks. He tried. This is a big deal. Here we go.
The feds also came with some shocking receipts that exposed just how lucky Cat is to be alive, and it's wild. You already know that Cat is never shy about spilling the tea, and that's what landed him in this mess in the first place. Everything he said was next level wild, and of course, he came through with some receipts to back it all up, especially with his claims about how Diddy desperately wanted to get him in his bed. But the real question is
man, look at him licking his lips.
Did he just head over heels for a Cat like Cat claimed, or is he so down bad that he's doing whatever it takes to get to Cat? Well, right after the new year, Shannon Sharp and Cat Williams decided to stir the pot with an interview that had the internet ablaze, completely in a chokehold. And Cat doesn't even talk much, but when he does, y'all, He really talks. This time he spilled some crazy, serious tea that had everybody gagged. He had a lot to say about Hollywood's big names like Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, and more. But the part that got everybody talking was the wild story he shared about Diddy. Like I said earlier, Cat
let's hear the story about Diddy.
mentioned that Diddy tried to seduce him and get him in his bed. You got to tell him no.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about.
Oh, man.
Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need to know. You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
But according to the streets, when Cat turned Diddy down, the man allegedly went so far as to threaten to assault him. Now, unless you've been living under a rock or out in space somewhere, you probably already heard about the whispers about Diddy and his, let's say, extracurricular activities. But even before Cat spilled the tea, there have been rumors swirling for ages about Diddy trying to get a little too close to some young men in the industry. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But for a hot minute now, people have been talking about how Diddy can't seem to keep it together and has been out here slinging it all over town. But here's the real twist. It's not just with women, because the streets are claiming that Diddy has been getting flirty with the fellas too. And apparently his harem isn't just full of chicks, but some boys too. But honestly, this isn't even new information, because people have been whispering about Diddy for a while that he has a thing for the men. Because even back in the 90s,
it's clear that, I mean, it's not just him. I mean, think about a rap artist, especially the ones from the 90s. You will find that they have a history of some kind of weird thing happen with them and at least one dude. And another thing is that these men, it's like there's nothing wrong with them being into other dudes. That's just whatever. But the fact that these men are some of the most misogynistic and homophobic men ever, but yet then the next thing you know, they're at the meat packing, what was it called? The meat packing district. It just shows you what a big hypocrites they are. They disrespect women. They're homophobic. At the same time, when they are what I call sexually dysfunctional, and they're down low.
Wendy Williams was one of the few brave voices who tried to expose Diddy's alleged secret gay activities on her Hot 97 talk show. Diddy had serious power back then, and when he found out that Wendy was on to him, he didn't just sit back, because he ordered the ladies from his girl group Total to try to jump Wendy and teach her a lesson.
I remember I got off the air one day and them Total bitches were downstairs waiting, and everybody upstairs at the radio station is looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down.
Dang, that's a trip.
I wasn't yet married. My knight in shining armor screeched up in his car just out of nowhere. I didn't even know what was about to happen. Skell hiding like a girl. Thanks, Skell. I'm standing in the door like, what? And I'm literally about to
Wendy Williams
go through. Now, I'm not like, what, let's fight, because I'm not one of those type of broads.
Well, anyways, Diddy definitely miscalculated on that one, because almost getting jumped was not enough to make Wendy back down. She kept dropping talks about him being on the down low, and Diddy wasn't having it. He got so mad that he ended up getting her fired from her job. And
if Diddy's on the down low, he's way down.
Basically tried to ruin her career.
Way down low.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle.
Well, Wendy's now ex-husband, Kevin Hunt.
Mental Heart says, oh my God, that reminds me of Will Smith tries to kiss his own son in the mouth.
Hunter also spoke about this in an interview, revealing just how close Diddy came to ruining Wendy's life and her career.
Is it true that Diddy got her fired from the radio station? Did he have anything to do with that?
I think that he had, yes, I think he had, well, let's be clear, nobody got fired.
Okay.
He got suspended. Okay. Yeah. Did he use his influence and power with Steve Smith and him at the time, and God knows whatever his relationship was with the overall station, because Bad Boy was a powerhouse. We all know how Bad Boy dominated a large part of the 90s. And as far as New York, you know, they was a powerhouse. So was he, you know, King Joffrey Joe? Yeah. Did he go in there and shake him up and say, yo, you know, I want this chick off? She dissing my group and all kinds of shit? Yeah.
Wendy was one of the few people who had the guts to call Diddy out on his BS. And that's exactly why people miss her so much. You just know she would have had a field day with this Diddy situation, especially when Cassie's lawsuit dropped. She'd be on that story like white on rice, giving us all the messy details with zero filter. But hopefully we're filling some of that gap. So hit subscribe if you like it. But also, isn't it wild that Diddy's first action was violence, ordering his artist to jump Wendy? What happened?
Yeah, that just shows you right there the violent tendencies he has. I mean, he's right where he needs to be right now. He really is. I mean, he should get used to being where he's at because that's the best place for him.
To the good old dialogue and trying to talk it out like a mature adult. There was no reason for Diddy to immediately jump into violence, but then again, given what we know now about him, should we even be surprised for what really happened?
After I saw that video of him beating on Cassie, I was like, damn. So he lasted this long.
Fans feeling even worse about Diddy's violent side was Cassie filing her lawsuit against him. She accused him of not just hurting her, but also manipulating her throughout more than their 10-year relationship. But it didn't stop there. She claimed that he forced her to be intimate with male escorts that he'd bring to his freak-off parties. The lawsuit was so heavy that it literally came with a trigger warning right on the first page. Diddy thought settling out of court would put an end to it all, but that just opened the floodgates for even more legal trouble that he hadn't faced in years. Multiple women stepped forward with stories.
Morgan says, are you guys familiar with this pink house that's always around now?
About how Diddy
somebody enlighten me about the pink house. What that's about.
Had allegedly essayed them, including one woman who claimed she was very young when it happened. This had everybody questioning what really went.
That's where Kevin Samuels get that thing about, oh yeah, women that are over 30 are over the hill. Of course, they're hitting a wall in his world because these dudes only want to date girls, little girls.
Down in these freak off parties and whether there was an actual consent involved. As Cassie said, she often felt like she had no choice in those situations.
Yeah, Morgan, we just went over that. The pink, you mean the pink, they call it pink tank. Yeah, exactly what you were saying. The pink Coca-Cola. Yeah. They talk about it had a mix of a bunch of different drugs. Like, yeah, exactly what you're saying. Yeah, we went over that earlier and it's crazy. It's dangerous. I bet a lot of older people died from that stuff.
Situations. Now, don't get me wrong, being gay really isn't the issue here. Be gay, Diddy, we don't care. It's more about the behavior that Diddy allegedly showed.
Right, exactly.
Do whatever he wants in his bedroom. It's just the shady stuff that's got people talking and all the secretiveness. The whole situation is just crazy because Diddy ended up hurting a lot of people along the way. Take Cassie's lawsuit, for example, where she claimed he forced her to be intimate with male escorts while he just sat back and got off on it. And according to Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, those freak-offs were for Diddy's pleasure in more ways than one. Gene pointed out that at these gatherings, it just wasn't.
I mean, the bottom line, this is the sad part, is obviously Diddy has a very dangerous and criminal-like dysfunctional sexual dysfunction. And you can see, I mean, you cannot imagine how many lives he has ruined, both men and women, just to put a Band-Aid on his problem. That's just sad to me. I don't care how much money somebody has. They shouldn't have that much power. Let me go here to
Okay, so back to Cat and the interview on Club Shay Shay. Cat built his whole reputation for calling out every shady part of the industry, and he's not one to shy away from exposing the dirt that most fans are totally oblivious to. But when it comes to sketchy dealings with all the Illuminati nonsense, you definitely can't pay Cat enough to keep his mouth shut. He's never really been a fan of Diddy and has a history of calling him out for his questionable relationships with younger men. And Cat has even dropped the P word to describe Diddy, if you know and catch my drift.
It's like, when another word for riding a bike, and it has pedals.
So people might think that Cat's recent comments are all about Cassie, but no, he's been coming for Diddy since way back in 2011. He exposed
Phoenix song. Yeah, he'll be getting all he wants from in the pen. He will be a happy camper. He's probably after a little while, he probably won't even be worried about getting life in prison.
both Jermaine Dupri and Diddy for allegedly essaying the Criss Cross boys. Chris Kelly and Chris Smith were just kids when Jermaine
Dang, now Jermaine Dupri's in the mix.
Dupri noticed them in the 90s, and they were so young that they were still in elementary school at the time. But by the time they hit 12 and 13, they were making waves in the industry. And behind the scenes, things were dark. Allegedly, Jermaine was SAing them and even passing them out to his friends in the industry, including Diddy.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
And it's just a wild and tragic situation. These young boys allegedly went through horrific acts for years, causing Chris Kelly to develop a drug problem due to the years of abuse. And the crazy part is that both boys had suspicions about Jermaine, but have been promised fame and fortune, and being the young boys they were, they succumbed to the pressure. And in an interview, Chris Kelly had this to say: "We were just playing video games at this mall in Atlanta when all of a sudden this dude comes to us and said he'd like for us to work with him as rap musicians. We had no idea who he was. In fact, I told my daddy that the guy was probably a child molester. Yeah, he basically looked at us all funny." And according to Gene Deal, the passing out of young stars wasn't just limited to Jermaine Dupri. Diddy also had his plans to pimp out the members of his girl band Daddy Kane, allegedly.
Because I heard him, and I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, "Yo, I'm gonna drug their ass off and pick them up and pimp them out to my nigga."
Damn.
He said, "I'm gonna drug them out. I'm gonna get them all on drugs, and I'm gonna pimp their ass out to my nigga." I was like, "Give somebody kids," and walked out.
And Cat had known this since 2011, so when he called out Diddy and Jermaine Dupri, he used the P word.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah. Jermaine Dupri, king of the pet flies, you ask me, baby. Shh.
Damn.
Pretty small as a child. I was fucking jamming.
But what's really crazy about this is that Diddy, knowing Cat's feelings about him, still tried.
Think about it. I mean, between Jermaine Dupri, Jay-Z, and Diddy, that's like 2/3 of the hip hop industry right there.
To proposition him like he was some kind of lover boy. Like, what? It just doesn't add up. But according to Cat, Diddy went all out trying to get to him, even offering him $50 million for a one-night stand. Like, seriously? Diddy is definitely not getting out of these allegations unscathed. Cat didn't dive into all the details, but an insider revealed that Diddy wasn't happy about being turned down and allegedly even sent people after Cat to kidnap him and take him to some unknown spot. Allegedly, Cat barely managed to escape, and that's a big part of why he's kept his distance from Diddy. Sources say Cat believes Diddy was trying to force him into a freak-off against his will, and he's just lucky to have gotten out. Now, you'd think that that kind of experience would make Cat stay low and keep quiet, right? Well, if you thought that, you clearly do not know the man Cat. That man is impossible to intimidate. The Illuminati has been coming for him for years, allegedly, and he still calls them out. So Diddy's attempts to pressure him into a freak-off only made him more determined to speak out. Instead,
Metal Heart, you nailed it. So Diddy's artists weren't meant to make money through singing. Wow. Apparently, so what he was doing is that's the trafficking part of this case that is just passed by everyone's face, is that when you think about how much you can make, like when you make a hit record, but if you're pimping kids out for $1 million a pop, that's like $1 million that night. And I bet he had some people that were popping that kind of money, $500,000 here, $200,000 here, $300,000 here. You know, remember now, he's got a mansion full of technically what we could see as sex slaves per se. That's a lot of money per night. It kind of actually, in some ways, outdoes the music. Music production is very expensive and time consuming. You can spend 6 months to a year making a very good album, while if he pimps out all these people that he says he does, if everything that Cat Williams was saying that Diddy did and Dupree did and everything, they were making a year's worth of music production money, because remember, you got all those expenses, right? They were making it in like weeks instead of years. That's creepy.
That it made him really mad. He decided he wanted to go in on Diddy and expose some wild tea that we didn't even know about. Like the fact that the bromance between Diddy and Jay-Z goes way deeper than just a bromance, because there's a little bit of a hanky-panky thing going on, allegedly. But before we get into Cat's revelations, let's talk about how 50 Cent has been trolling Diddy since Cassie's lawsuit dropped. Because y'all, it's like 50 has been waiting for the perfect moment and opportunity to troll Diddy, even more than he has been already. After Diddy's fourth lawsuit, 50 said, no, he will be fine. He has so much money. When his corporate partners pull out, he will just reach into his pockets and make it happen. You saw how fast he paid Cassie. He's a real billionaire. He has FU money, guys. So FU. Did he do it? Coming soon. In another IG post, 50 Cent posted a video of Eddie Griffin cracking jokes about Diddy. In that video, Eddie Griffin was seen taking a swipe at Diddy's long-standing beef with Suge Knight, who's currently doing time behind bars. On his Twitter page, 50 Cent said, I thought Diddy was a billionaire music mogul. If he's smart, he'll file bankruptcy now. Anyone with real money knows why I'm saying this. I'm the best producer for the job, guys. Here comes the receipts. Yeah, so 50 is definitely an enforcer on the Hey Diddy train, just like Cat. Because Cat exposed Jay-Z for allegedly being Diddy's lover and partner in crime. For some context, Jaguar Wright had an interview in which she straight up claimed that Diddy and Jay-Z were more than just friends.
Wow, and all this time, people are like, oh, you crazy, you crazy.
She hinted at some intimate moments between them, if you catch my drift.
Camaraderie with honeycombs and aka Diddy. And
why do you give him the honeycombs? Why do you give him honeycombs?
Because he smacks so sweet.
What?
That fucking sodomite. Anyway,
and if y'all can trust 50 Cent to join that party too, as an enforcer, and he shared a video of him on stage with Diddy and Jay-Z, capturing the moment when Diddy playfully smacked Jay-Z's butt on stage in front of thousands of people.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do for him, Jay? I want to take him back a little bit.
Let's see it, my nigga. Here we go. He slapped him on the butt.
According to Cat Williams,
he slapped him on the butt. I mean, and it wasn't like it was like he was close to his booty or nothing. He actually had to put some effort into it.
He smacked Jay-Z's butt on stage in front of thousands of people.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do for him, Jay? I want to take him back a little bit. Fuck it, my nigga. You know this your motherfucking city, nigga.
But according to Cat Williams, there's way more going on than what meets the eye. He claimed that Jay-Z and Diddy have been involved in some shady business together, not just freak off, but also allegedly grooming younger women. You know the saying, birds of a feather flock together.
This is what's going on. That's why I'm telling you. That's why these dudes fell into that women being hitting the wall at 30, because they're trying to start women at 15. I mean, girls at 15. That's what they're shooting for. That's why I'm telling you, you do not want the guy who's orange to be in there, because he'll make rules to let these dudes run rampant. I'm telling you.
Right.
Like he did.
Cat believes that definitely applies here, because he's claiming that Diddy and Jay-Z are knee-deep in some messy business together. And I know that everybody is saying the same thing right about now, but as Cat was one of the first people to speak on it. Another person who also spoke on it is Jaguar Wright.
Yeah, I am telling you. That's how that went down. But you know, I'm going to bring us up to the 2023s because guess who else is in trouble now? Guess who else is in the mix?
Good evening. Rap star and St. Louis native Nelly is facing multiple felony charges tonight. He was arrested this morning in Tennessee. Nelly, whose real name is Cornell Haynes, is charged with felony drug possession and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Now you think, okay, big deal. Come on, DJ Torch. Come on, man. That's like 10 years ago. Let me show you the results of his behavior, though. That's what we want to know.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel.
Now, this is just one day ago.
Today, we have a deeply emotional story that has touched the hearts of many. In this video, we are diving into the recent incident involving the beloved rapper Nelly and his son, Cornell Hayes. This is a story of love, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between a father and son. So, grab some tissues, because this one is going to hit hard. Nelly, born Cornell Irel Haynes Jr., is not just a music icon, he's also a devoted father. Recently, however, he faced one of the toughest moments of his life. The news about his son, Cornell Hayes III, has left fans and loved ones in shock. It all began when Cornell, who's known as Tree, started feeling unwell. Like any concerned parent, Nelly took immediate action, ensuring his son received the best medical attention possible.
Nelly doesn't care about his kids. I mean,
After a series of tests, the family awaited the results with bated breath. In interviews, Nelly has always emphasized the importance of family. He often shares anecdotes about his journey as a father.
let me pause that for a minute. I got to dig into something. How many kids does Nelly have? Oh, no, he's only got 2. I will hand it to them. He has only got 2. Let me keep it going here.
Father, from teaching Tree to ride a bike to cheering him on at school events. But no amount of preparation can truly ready a parent for devastating news. When the doctor finally entered the room, the atmosphere was thick with anxiety. Nelly's heart raced as he could sense the gravity of the situation. The doctor's expression was serious, and as he delivered the news, it felt like time stood still. In that moment, shocking, it was a terrifying reality that no parent wants to face. He listened intently as the doctor explained the implications of the diagnosis, his heart sinking deeper with each word.
Basically, bottom line is his son's not a drug addict just like he was. Instead of him, making sure his kids don't fall into that. Oh yeah, mental heart. Aren't they his sister's kids? Probably. This video here is not the most accurate, but basically, I guess what I wanted to make it sure it was clear is that he was a drug addict. Instead of cleaning himself up, because he's not even clean right now, he passed that on to his kid, at least his son, which is sad. And that's what just happens when things like that happen. So let's see. Let me pause that. Bring it forward. This is about the one, the only Blueface.
Parents react to him being sentenced to 4 years in prison.
Good morning, y'all. Top of the AM. Headed out to my son's sentencing hearing today. I'm hoping and praying that the judge gives him or shows him some mercy and some leniency and free him today.
He did.
I need y'all to pray up for me.
This is about Blueface right here, everybody.
Help me pray for Blueface and let him out today. Free Blueface. Let the famous Crip free. You all right?
3 hours later.
Good afternoon, y'all. Y'all can probably tell the results by the way I look. I gave him 4 years.
That's right. Number 3, Ashanti. He got Ashanti pregnant. He got Ashanti. That's, dang it. Hoping more for her.
Try this one more time.
I want to get on here and thank everybody for all the love and all the support today, all the prayers. I've seen all the prayers, and I thank y'all so much. I don't want y'all to think that God didn't show up today, because he did. And if you was in the courtroom, you heard Jonathan take accountability. You heard Jonathan sound like Jonathan. He's in his right frame of mind. We didn't get the
Why didn't he take accountability the other 50 times? That's the problem. That's why he's in jail for 4 years, which really isn't that bad, because he was shooting at people. That could have been easily been 10.
verdict that we wanted today.
Vegas don't mess around.
But we got some closure. We got new beginnings, and we're all hopeful
Everybody hit the likes, everybody. Come on, it's free 99. Here we go.
for this to go by smooth and quickly. So thank you guys again for all the prayers. And
We are breaking it down here, the underbelly of hip hop. If you think it's all, wines and roses, no. Wine and roses, no. As you can see, in my opinion, I feel hip hop has been doing a number on our culture and our community. I really do. I think we fell for the banana in the tailpipe, y'all. Because these hip hop, if you think about it, the majority of the producers in hip hop, these high end men in hip hop and stuff, they have been destroying us. It's almost like, I'm not saying the music, it's the culture. It's what it's doing. There's very, very little left of goodness in hip hop right now.
the love and all the support.
Let me pause it right there. Shoot, I'm really saddened and disappointed, because I loved hip hop. I loved it. I loved hip hop. But damn, it's done so. The people who are in it, there's just I can't find anybody any good. I can't find anybody any good in it. Either the people who were doing good in it, have moved on to something else, or they're Diddy.
I'm just going to say it. L.A. Reid is a predator. You calling 18, 19-year-old girls in your office and soliciting sexual favors? Yes, that was happening. And any label, television show, anybody that hires him, you are hiring a predator.
L.A. Reid, y'all.
L.A. Reid is a scary man. He's one of the most powerful people in the music industry, and L.A. Reid has used that power to violate people. He would harass employees and end careers if he didn't get what he wanted.
And you know what's weird about what I was just said there? It's not just L.A. Reid, it's literally all artists. We could go way back, all the way back to Tina Turner and her and Dude. They would end their careers over somebody not doing something sexual for them. That's the crazy part. Thank you so much, Phoenix Soul.
L.A. Reid has even ended artists' careers because their managers wouldn't sleep with him.
You see what I mean? It's like, wow, is this really the legacy what we want to build here? Is this the legacy? Is this what we're about now?
A part of the problem in Hollywood, and he needs to be exposed. So let's get into it. L.A. Reid is a big-time music executive and record producer, and he also seems like a creep because he's used his status to take advantage of many people. He supposedly left his position at Epic Records because of allegations of sexual harassment. Reports claim that L.A. Reid was ousted from his job nearly 6 years in after a coworker accused him of putting his hand up her shirt at a holiday party in front of other people.
L.A. Reid, you guys have been waiting a few days to hear Joe's thoughts. So on Thursday, we found out that he abruptly left his position as CEO and chairman of Epic Records. Sony didn't say much at first. 2 days later, they issued a very, very brief statement just saying L.A. Reid will be leaving the company. Now we're finding out that there are assault allegations against him from multiple people who worked in the company.
Now, Sony learned about these allegations because one of his employees actually wrote a letter. An attorney representing one of L.A. Reid's female assistants sent a letter to Sony's legal counsel regarding the harassment that this assistant had faced for a daily basis over a year. L.A. Reid was also accused of asking his assistant while they were on a business trip to lie down in bed with him and give him a hug, which no employer should be laying in bed with their employee. That's so weird. Also, they shouldn't be commenting on their appearance. Well, in that letter, she accuses him of
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you.
Making comments about her clothing and her appearance, as well as propositions that caused her embarrassment and distress and made it impossible for her to continue working at that label. It looks like this employee wanted...
My thing is this. You would think that the discrimination that Black men that we go through, the scrutiny, that we would not want to become the monster that had been, controlling us. And it seems like the opposite has happened. It seems like the opposite has happened. It seems like the opposite has happened, where apparently we don't fight the monster. Let me bring him up. Where is he at? Come on. We don't fight the monster. We become the monster. I used to love his jams, the ones that he had produced and everything. But at the same time, all the lives he's destroyed for himself ruins it for me. It ruins it. Phoenix Solis nails it again. No, DJ Torch. It's punching down bars. It's sad because, if these dudes weren't doing all this, they really could have been moguls. And we all heard about this dude right here, right? We all know he's on some island because he knows that he's going to come back. And as one of my peoples used to say, the chickens come home to roost. Yeah, one of my friends said that. The chickens come home to roost. So this dude's just elsewhere. Old Mr. Comedy Def Jam himself. So what happened? I mean, it is crazy that it's literally it's like a big, what was the saying we had? They roll in packs. They roll in packs. Oh man. And then you don't think that, bleeds out into the community? How many guys wanted to be Diddy? How many guys wanted to be Nelly? How many guys wanted to be L.A. Reid? You see where I'm going with this? How many guys want to be Blueface? Yeah, all of these guys are into dirty money. Bars, Bridget, I mean, it's just, yeah, Morgan, you nailed it. You took the words right out of my mouth. Actually, you put the words right in them. Morgan says this: power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Man, that is bars right there. Man, oh man, that's Morgan. Well said. Well said. That's deep. And full of misogynoir. Exactly. Exactly. Man, I mean, well, I'm so happy everybody came out to part one, and I'm glad it appears to be, and it is an success. Because the thing is this: whether we like it or not, hip hop is the driving force in our community. It really is when you think about it. It's the core of our culture. It's the core of men's misogyny. We know that. And quite honestly, I'm glad that a lot of men are saying, "Oh, well, that happened to Diddy. Well, I'm sorry that happened to him." me myself, I'm like, hey, you know something? We might just have a small chance now. Because maybe this message will reach a lot of other predos out there and let them know that, you know, the government ain't playing. Because we can't have this in our community and excel. It's just not going to happen. You know, this isn't some side genre, you know, captivating a small group of people. It's the number one driving force in the community. It's the number one driving force to change a man's ideology. It really is. It's, you know, it's all bad. It's all bad. And let me tell you something. Look, I can't even get past these two guys who were just criticizing Diddy, right? They were just criticizing L.A. Reid. Well, and get this dude right here, he did the same thing Diddy did. DJ Academics, he's in hot water right now for drugging a young lady. The same way. See how this toxicity keeps falling down, and Metal Heart nails it again. You guys are just reading. You guys are just on it tonight. The toxic masculinity and patriarchy is insane. These men literally think they own women. That's the problem. And it makes it worse for other men, because if you're taught this when you grow up, by the time it's time for you to get married, you don't want to marry. You want to own people. You just want to. How many people out there want to be Russell Wilson? Most of them want to be Diddy. I bet these men would take Diddy over Russell Wilson even now. Yeah, creepidemics right here. I did a video on him. He's nasty. Oh, Sloan. Yeah, Sloan is gay. You mean the one? Sloan is gay. He is. He's clearly gay. But hey, he's a great content creator. I will give him that. And at least he's open about it, because you see how the down low men are the most dangerous men ever. Because not because they're secretly gay, it's because their behavior, and they literally probably hate themselves. And that's why they're the most dangerous. They will abuse anything that has a heartbeat. Here we go. It's sad that right now the only person right here, Budden. Now the only thing he's only known for beating up on women, which is messed up already. It's sad when I have to say, well, he only beat up on women. It's sad that I have to say that. You know, that's the lower part of this culture. 40% of Black men and women experience in relationships DV. That's the ones who reported it. I'm scared to know what the actual number is. I think it has to do with a lot with the ideology, the mentality. I'm sorry, but there's been a lot of men who have not had their father around and have turned out just fine. Black, Asian, white, whatever. So we can't keep using that as an excuse. Metal Heart breaks it down. There's a black male YouTube I had to unsubscribe from both of his channels. He said Cassie wanted to be there because she was getting paid, then turns around and preached about B1. Yeah. Yep. as if the two topics go in tandem. Yep. Bars. Queen Award says eye drops were used to drug women back in the day. Yep. Quita, you brought up a good point. This is what I heard about the Diddy. Do you want to know why the feds took the baby oil? Get this. They were spiking the baby oil. Let me say that again. That mofo was spiking the baby oil. They were spiking the ice. They were, of course, they spiked the drinks. But if you walked into there, if you walked into Diddy's house, it's over. Unless you do something like Denzel did. Denzel walked in for a minute and said, "No, I'm out. I'm cool. I am out." I am out. Phoenix Soul says, this was a pretty heavy show at DJ Torch and Live Empowerment. I think we need a palette cleaner. What about a funny video? Good idea. Let me see if I can, yes, let's do that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring something up. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the like. Let me go here and hit, where did I put it? Where did I? Oh, this is a good one. Remember this one. Here we go.
Okay, so this story regarding comedian Andrew Schultz has been trending for almost a week. Just to give you some context, Schultz had a couple fellow podcasters from the UK shits and gigs on his podcast called Flagrant. The Flagrant podcast is basically Andrew, another comedian named Akash, and two other co-hosts, and they delve into comedy, politics, culture, and trending news. So when those two British podcasters came on Schultz's show, the conversation turned towards Black women whose ships and gigs have a loyal and huge following up, and that's when Andrew began to turn up the heat with the jokes. I'm going to play you a clip of what jokes he made, and then I want you to see the reaction of the two UK podcasters.
This is Clash of Sports. Listen closely to this. This is the most funny and ridiculous.
What is the black girlfriend effect? This is
you don't know about
glow
this.
up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
I like
that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking.
And look at him shits and gigging away. Look at him shits and gigging away. Let me go back a little bit because they were actually giving the woman, at first they were giving the woman props. And instead of standing, 10 toes, right? They laugh at the dude.
Girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
So, yeah, and he's saying goes up, bro, right? Listen.
Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect? This is
you don't know about this.
glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends, they
grow a
set-
beard
they set their
because
dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of.
And that's like messed up to me. I mean, it's messed up. But I even got something else for you. Hold on 1 second. That's messed up. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I got some more good stuff for you. This was such a great idea to play something funny at the end to give it a little, to take off a little bit of the weight, Wait, let me go here. Let me go ahead and play this. Let's see if that come up. I got to play a little bit longer. Wait, let me pause that. Okay, wait, let me pause that. Pause that. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me pause that. You're going to love this one. This is going to be funny. Here we go.
So let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Well, it's about time. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets. Yeah, I put your mutt and I ate him. I ate his little face.
Talk about extreme. Well, let's talk about extreme. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression.
Put it in reverse.
Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in the century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
Excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics. Everything that she believed 3 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets. Yeah, I put your mutt and I ate him.
That's banging. That's banging.
I ate his little face.
Talk about extreme. Donald Trump has no plan for you.
Excuse me, I have to respond. She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences. Like run, spot, run. Like run, spot, run.
So as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
Wait a minute, I'm talking now. Another lie. It's another lie. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
Man, they go at it. I'm telling you, though. I'm
Concepts
sorry.
of a plan. I'm not president right now. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets. Yeah, I put your mutt and I ate him. I ate his little face.
Talk about extreme. Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. Clearly, he has had a very difficult time processing that. And I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies because it's a really interesting thing to watch.
People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that
All
do,
right, everybody. That's it for the night. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming through. Let me hit the beat. Let me hit the beat. Here we go, everyone. Let me play something a little bit more, you know, here we go. I need to keep that beat going. Yep, everybody, thank you so much.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Shout out to everybody for coming through. That was my crew doing that. DJ Torch and friends in the house doing it. Shout out to Miss RV, Phoenix Soul, Richard Bouton, Rita Ward, Morgan Baker.
Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tiene lo verde siempre llega primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos malos buenos y tenemos pero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
Metal Heart.
Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work.
Henry Mars.
El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Money work. De corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz.
Thank you, Quita. Thank you, Quita and Phoenix Soul. For the super chat. Break it down, break it down.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, 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 yeah. Money work. Money work. Money work. Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
All right, everybody. You on the next one.
Money work.